Thanks to you guys that took to Twitter at pfspot_Schlegel and tweeted your sports and fantasy football questions to me. Let's get to this Q&A so I can fire through it and go to bed. It's about 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm trying to cram a lot of videos in right now while I have the opportunity. All right, Wash Cash 81 asks, from what I've seen so far, should the Rams have Austin Davis as the number one quarterback even when Bradford returns to action? Well, number one, who says Sam Bradford will ever return to action because the guy's a fucking walking injury waiting to happen. Number two, what have you ever seen out of Sam Bradford that indicates that he's a franchise quarterback? Number three, what the hell would you have to lose? Even if they said Sam Bradford was coming back later this year, who's to say that he'd be any better than Austin Davis? Yeah, at this point in time, yeah, you got to go roll with Austin Davis. Is he the long-term answer? No, I don't know about that. We need to see the rest of the season play out, but he needs to be the guy right now. And even if Bradford was healthy, Austin Davis needs to be that guy. As Bradford has established on several different levels that he's not that guy. Matt Mefe2, do you think the Cowboys will make the Super Bowl? I do not. Now, with that said, they got off to such a hot start. They could potentially keep that momentum going. You know, the way it's going right now, the Cowboys could potentially win 12 or 13 games and have either a first-round bye, if not home field advantage throughout the playoffs in the NFC. But somebody's going to be able to stop that running game. Somebody's going to be able to put some pressure on Romo. And then somebody's going to be able to exploit that Cowboys defense. And once that happens, the Cowboys are cooked. I see a team that can win a lot of regular season games, a team that I was wrong about in that way. But now I don't see a Super Bowl caliber team. I really do not at this point in time. I just do not. Devin Throw, is Mike Smith on the hot seat right now? I think so, but I don't know so. But if he's not, he should be. He's been there, for 7 seasons now? That defense has consistently sucked during his tenure, and it seems to only get worse. This is supposed to be a defensive-minded head coach. If that defense continues to suck, and it looks like the Falcons are well on their way to another season, second straight year of not being in the playoffs. They had a good run of success there for a little bit. You know, now you're regressing. You got to start to wonder if Smith's time is up. Then who will win the NFC South division this year? Fuck it. It's up for grabs right now. Who the hell knows? I think the leader in the clubhouse right now would probably be the Carolina Panthers, though. UF Gator Chomp 93. What would be more hysterical? Oakland hiring Matt Millen as a new general manager or them hiring Rex Ryan as their head coach? I think they could do worse than Rex Ryan as their head coach. Oh, but God, could you imagine them hiring Matt Millen as their general manager? Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oakland would end up with the number one pick, and people would be talking about Mariota and this guy and Jameis Winston and that fucking. They'd sit there and take Bryce Petty number one overall. And then they surround him with wide receivers every year. And what do you think Raiders fans that claim to this day that Callahan sabotaged the team in the Super Bowl against the Bucs to help Gruden win? You know, the Bucs were just a better team, and they knew what the hell the Raiders were going to do. I have a hard time believing that an NFL head coach would intentionally sabotage his team in the Super Bowl. That, I think, is just a bunch of dumb, bitter Raider bullshit, personally. Could some players have not played as hard? Yes. Yeah. I just can't buy that the heck. What would be the motivation? To get back at Al Davis? You've got a selfish motivation to win that fucking Super Bowl for yourself. Knowing that could be your only opportunity ever, and it most certainly will for Bill Callahan as a fucking head coach. I mean, I just don't buy it. Beam of the Cash Man, can you please do a new video bashing Cutler? I'm getting so frustrated with him. You shouldn't be getting frustrated with him, Beam of the Cash Man. You should be accepting of just how frustrating he is, period. There's nothing to get frustrated about. It's been 5+ years of this bullshit. Excuse me. I've told you guys time after time after time after time who the fuck Jay Cutler is. I believe I invoked the name Jeff George on many occasions, and that's who the fuck he is. He is not an elite quarterback. He does not have that ability here and here. He is not even a franchise quarterback for so many different reasons, a lot having to do with here and here. But you also look at a Jay Cutler that's 31 years old and still can't figure out how to stop staring down fucking receivers. You're still looking at a Jay Cutler that seems to think that throwing into triple coverage in big time spots is okay. It's just fine. You know, I'll do a video at some point in time when it strikes me to bash Cutler. I don't think the timing is right, but I've said a lot of this shit before. Anything I could say about Cutler only further validates how much of a genius I look about him from years ago. That's simple. Anybody who thinks Jay Cutler is the man is a fucking moron. Anybody that thinks the Bears are going to win a Super Bowl with Jay Cutler as the starting quarterback is a fucking moron. Anybody that thinks that the Chicago Bears were in any way justified giving Jay Cutler big time money is a fucking moron. Period. There is no argument. If you think Jay Cutler is the man, you are a tool, and you need to stop being a Bears fan, because it's not people like me, it's people like you that advocate and defend and support this stupid bullshit that allows this stupid, mediocre bullshit to continue to occur in a second-rate NFL organization that we all love. Mark Whalen, 67. Which guy should I trade for wide receiver help? McKinnon, Tate, Oliver, or Reed? Oliver would be the first one that stands out to me, because when Ryan Matthews come back from injury, Oliver might take over the Danny Woodhead role, but I would have to assume he would cede a good portion of the workload back to Ryan Matthews. Maybe not all of it, but a good portion of it. I don't know how much you're going to get in a trade for Jordan Reed, or even McKinnon or Tate. I think Oliver might have the most value for you right now. It might be a sell high opportunity. Jay McClurg, 9243. What is your thoughts on the NFL safety rules? I don't have a problem with them trying to emphasize player safety and trying to make the game a safer game to play. I mean, they're incredibly hypocritical in that sense, in terms of the talk of wanting to, we care about the players so much, but, at the same token, we want to extend regular seasons in the future. We want to increase the number of games in London. There's all this other dumb shit that they do. Like I said, I'm all for them making the game safer. I don't get into the whole bullshit of, well, you can't hit anybody, or, you have to have all these massive fucking hits that potentially kill people. And I don't quite believe in that. I think the safety rules need to be adjusted a little bit, because, football by nature is a violent game. It is a collision sport, and you can't totally take that out of the game, no matter how much you try to legislate and or regulate it. And it does get to the point where you sit there now and just in general watching a game, instead of in a third down or in a big play situation, instead of embracing the moment and accepting what happens one way or another, as soon as the play's over, you're looking for a flag. That's terrible. And that is the type of shit that can ruin the league and the game. Alex Shirley, 10. Who's the biggest problem for the Bears? Jay Cutler, Mark Trestman, or the Bears defense? Oh, the biggest problem is very simple. It's general manager Phil Emery. There's no question about it. He's the one that re-signed Jay Cutler long term, because he's a dumb dick. He's the one that went up to Canada to find his coach, who wasn't his first choice, and Mark Trestman, because he's a dumb dick. He's the one that hired Mel Tucker and brought in the overpriced players and the old players to play on that crappy Bears defense. The primary person to blame is the general manager, Phil Emery, because he has assembled a good portion of this team over the past 3 years. Sam Oakley, 123. How lucky are my Panthers being in the NFC South? Incredibly lucky. No question. Saving Ryan's private. Can you believe people thought we would compete with Aaron Rodgers in the pack? I actually believe you did. You sit there and maybe try to deny it, brother, but if I go through and look at some of the tweets from the past and some of the NFL videos I did before the season and early on in the season, I'm pretty sure I can remember you sitting there and being very positive about the Bears and their chances in 2014, because you bought into the bullshit, especially from the Chicago sports media. Oh, God, they bought into this fucking team hook, line, and sinker. Can I believe it? No. But at least I have the ability to say, hey, I'm on record in numerous articles and in video form and everything, saying that this team was not what it was cracked up to be, and they were going to be a mediocre, disappointing team in 2014. That's exactly what they've been. I was right and most everybody else was wrong on this Bears team. There is no question about it. When it comes to the Bears people, that every one mistake I make, like an Alshon Jeffrey evaluation, you can rail on me all day long. I missed on him. I was bad. It was just flat out bad. I missed. But man, I nailed Shea McClellan big time. Nailed Brandon Harden. Nailed the signing of Jared Allen. Nailed the freaking what the hell else did I nail? I've run out of things because there's so many. Oh, the re-signing of Jay Cutler long term. Need I continue? No, I really don't need to. Stacy C420. Do you think the head coach needs to go? In terms of Chicago, I'm not a huge proponent of dismissing head coaches 2 years in. No, they brought in Trustman. They need to give Trustman time. I believe in continuity of the organization. I typically believe you need 4 or 5 years before you can really fully evaluate. I think the pressure needs to get turned on, but I'm not ready to call for Mark Trestman's head yet. It's just the reality is this team who it is, regardless of who the hell the coach is at this point. And I am Justin Dunbar. Why is nobody talking about Aaron Rodgers for the MVP? They're going to be. They will be. It'll take time. It'll catch up though. I mean, it's going to get there. The Packers are 5-2. Rodgers statistically is incredibly impressive. As the season goes along, no matter what you say, the national media is going to intentionally pound and pound and pound until Peyton Manning is in that conversation. So that's going to happen. He'll be in there. DeMarco Murray will be in that conversation all year. Um, Perhaps Philip Rivers will stay in that conversation all year. There will be a camp that believes J.J. Watt is the NFL's MVP, but I think Rodgers is going to be that other guy that really creeps in there. So thanks to all of you guys that submitted your questions for this Q&A. Like I said, it's about 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm ready to go to fucking bed and go to work in the morning. So I will see you guys later.